Alright, on our last video we talked about solving equations by adding or subtracting. Today we're going to be solving equations by multiplying or dividing. This is chapter 4.4. Here's our couple of key concepts for the day. Go ahead and get these copied into your notes and then replay me when you're ready for the explanation. Okay, so it's very similar to solving equations by adding and subtracting. Remember we had inverse operations? Well, in solving with multiplying and dividing, we also have inverse operations, and we are undoing this operation or the opposite. So the opposite of multiplication is division, and the opposite of division is multiplication. Okay, so when we divide, we have the division property of equality, and that says when we divide each side of an equation by the same non-zero number, the two sides remain equivalent. Okay, so if I have 1.8 equals 1.8, and I divide by 2 on both sides, remember that you have to, what you do to one side you have to do to the other, I'm going to get the same, a true equal sign, okay? Now if I'm solving equations here, I have 4x equals 24. I need to divide by 4 to undo this multiplication on both sides, and I get x equals 6. And we'll show you some examples about that. Multiplication property of equality is when you multiply each side of an equation by the same non-zero number, the two sides remain equivalent. So if I start off with -3 equals -3, and I want to multiply by 4 on both sides. So I'm going to take this -3 times 4, and this 4 times -3, I should get -12 equals -12, which makes a true equal. Okay, and then if I had an equation like over here, I have 1/5 times x equals -3. Well, to undo multiplication, well, they kind of, I don't like this example. You would do 1/5 x equals -3. This is being multiplied, so we divide by 1/5. And when we divide, we have to flip a keep, change, flip, and that's what they did here, but they went straight into the keep, change, flip, and I want to see a little bit more of this work, and that's going to be the same answer as -15. Okay, and I'll show you some more examples of this. I don't like that example much. But basically what we need to pull from this by both of these is what you divide on one side, you have to do to the other. Again, what you do to one side, here when you multiply, you have to multiply one side, you have to multiply to the other. Okay? All right, so these are the exact same directions for all of them, so you can just write them once. I'm going to do these. This one is 5c equals 120. Well, the question always needs to be, how do I isolate the variable? Our goal is to get our variable by itself, and in order to do that, we need to ask ourselves what's happening to the variable. Well, in this case, I am multiplying by 5c, right? And how do I undo multiplication? Well, that's division. Don't forget your line down the middle. Okay, so now that I have divided by 5 on the left side, I have to divide by 5 on the right side. Those cancel, and I'm left with c equals 120 divided by 5 is 24. Now again, we want to check our solution. We get 5 times 24 equals 120, and 5 times 24 is 120. And so if your check works out, then you've done the problem right. Okay, here's another I do. So as I'm working this problem out, you want to make sure that you're getting it into your notes as well. So I ask myself, what is happening to this variable? How do I get that variable by itself? Well, it's being multiplied by 6. So undo multiplication, I divide by 6, and I get -9 equals x. I want to come over here and check it, and I plug it into the original. -54 equals 6 times -9. And I get -54 equals -54, which is true. Okay, now I want you to try this one. Do the best you can with it, and when you're ready for the answer, go ahead and replay me. And we divide by 7 on both sides, and a equals 9. Now I want to take a minute real quick. I don't want this step right here to be done in your head. I want to see you actually write down your dividing by 7 here. And the same thing up here with these problems before. I want to see you divide by 6. I want to see you divide by 5, okay? So all these steps need to be shown before we go on, and that'll be important in later on lessons. We got to check this. We plug into the original. 7 times 9 equals 63, and 63 equals 63. Okay. And remember, if you did not get those correct, to make sure you're getting the correct work copied into your notes. All right, another you do. Go ahead and try this one best you can, and when you're ready for the answer, go ahead and replay me. So we divide by 4 on both sides. X equals -12. Checking 4 times -12 equals -48. And -48 equals -48. Okay, here's another you do. Try this, replay me when you're ready for the answer. All right, we divide by 11 on both sides. Whoops. And we get -11 equals X. We plug in -121 equals 11 times -11. -121 equals -121, which equals. Okay, now all of those that we just did were all solving by dividing on both sides, right? All of those are dividing on each side. Well, now we're going to look at how we can eliminate by multiplying on both sides. Okay, so we look at this problem here, and my question is, how do I get that y by itself? What's happening to the y? Well, right now it's being divided by 4. So how do I undo division? With multiplication, right? So to undo division, I got to multiply by 4 on both sides. That will eliminate this 4 here, and I'm left with y. Whoops, line down the middle. Y equals -32. Okay, and then I want to come over here and check. -32 in for y, and -8 equals -8. All right, again, I'm going to try this one, and you guys work along with me. Draw a line down the equal sign. X is being divided by -2, and to undo division, we have to multiply by exactly what's there. So I'm going to multiply by a -2 to both sides. So -2 times 7 is -14. Those cancel, equals X. And checking, I say 7 equals -14 divided by -2. And -14 divided by -2 is a +7, which is correct. Okay, now I want you to try this one and replay me when you're ready for the answer. And we are going to multiply by 6 on both sides to eliminate that 6 over there. A equals 72. To check this, we plug in 72 over 6 equals 12, and 12 equals 12. All right, this one's a you do. This is similar to the very, very first example. And I want you to try this one best you can. And then when you're ready, replay me for the answer. Okay, so you ask yourself, what is happening to the variable? Well, in this case, it's being multiplied by 6/7. So how do you undo multiplication? Well, we undo multiplication with division, right? So we're going to divide by both sides by 6/7. And m equals -24 divided by 6/7. I don't know about you, but I can't really do that in my head. So I'm going to come over and do some scratch work. And remember, we did all that work on fractions, so hopefully we're experts at them. So we keep, change, flip. We can cross simplify here. And then we multiply straight across and we get -28 over 1, or just simply -28. Checking here, we get 6/7 times m, which is negative 28, equals negative 24. And I don't know about you guys, but I can't do 6 over 7 times negative 28 in my head, so we got to do some scratch work again. And we can simplify here. That goes to 1, that goes to negative 4, and we multiply straight across, we get negative 24. And negative 24 does in fact equal negative 24, so this answer here is correct. All right, and here's some extra practice problems. Please have these ready to go for class the next time we see each other. And here's that fraction one here and a fraction one there, so make sure you're paying attention to those fractions. Oops, there's an X there. Okay, good luck.